Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the other e-reader that I built. A little while back I built PiBook, which was a Raspberry Pi based e-reader. It's kind of like a full-featured heavyweight e-reader. It's good for people who want to tinker around with a Raspberry Pi with an e-ink screen, have an e-reader, and some other apps. This here is Book32. This is a very inexpensive DIY simple e-reader. This has a to-do app which I created, and it also has a Klipper scanner and a Klipper monitor. So really useful e-reader, but it is much more simplified than the PiBook. This is about $50 US to build. It's very inexpensive. And it's all thanks to the Seed Studio Terminal kit. Really inexpensive e-ink ESP32 kit that has a battery, has the charger, very compact. I mean, this is probably one of the best electronics kits for messing around with e-ink screens and ESP32s. It's just a no-brainer. If you're interested in purchasing one of these, I have an affiliate link in the description below. Doesn't cost you anything extra, really helps the channel out. But yeah, not only do they sell this kit, but they sell the individual parts as well. So that makes the Book32 very repairable and just a great option if you're sick of spending $100, $150 on an e-reader, it breaks or you lose it or whatever. This is much more cost effective and is just a nice simple device for just reading books. So let's talk about their e-reader a little bit here. This reads EPUB books. There is about 10 megabytes of storage on the device. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's for, you can put about 5 to 8 books, maybe even 10 books on there. EPUB books don't really take a lot of space. And again, we're keeping the device simple. There's no SD card slot, there's no SD card needed. The storage is all internal, and it's definitely big enough for a few books to take with you on the road or whatever. Battery life is really nice. I tested the battery life on this just sitting on the dock like this, and it ran for 28 hours. Now, that is with the Wi-Fi turned on. And it didn't die until 28 hours. When you're reading a book, Wi-Fi gets turned off and there's some power savings there. And because this device is an ESP32, you can turn it off when you're done. And it's highly recommended to just turn the device off. The boot up on this device is only like 6 seconds. So there's no point to like leave it on sitting on your nightstand. Just flip the switch, turn it off. Really convenient. Flip it back on. It will resume the page that you left off on and the book that you left off on. So again, it's really intended to be a simplistic, long battery life e-reader, and that's thanks to the ESP32 being so efficient. There is a web page that you can change settings on this. You can turn on sleep mode. You can change how many pages it goes through before it does a full refresh. So I'll show off a few clips here of the e-reader reading. You'll notice that it does a partial refresh really quickly. It does that for 10 pages and then it'll do a full refresh after 10. You can change that interval if you want it to be 5, 10, 15, whatever you like. There is also the ability to change the font, small, medium, and large. You can change that through the web interface. Mostly you're going to set the font that you like to begin with, and then you'll probably never touch it. What's also really nice is if you need to access the web interface and you don't have Wi-Fi, let's say you're on a train or you're in the car or something like that, if this is not connected to Wi-Fi, it will act as a hotspot. So you can connect your phone to it, and then you can go to the web interface and just change settings that you might need to change. Most likely, you're already going to have this configured how you like, and you're never going to have to go into the web interface when you're kind of away from home or away from Wi-Fi, but the functionality is there for you. I've also included a to-do list app. So the intent with this is you're going to have this plugged in on its dock here beside your computer, and through the web interface you can add tasks for yourself. Kind of acts as a small little screen where you can just have a to-do list of things that you need to get done during the day or the week or whatever. You can cross them off as you complete them, you can delete them. Just a really nice, easy to read screen to add tasks. Kind of makes the e-reader a bit more useful during the day when you're not reading books. I also made a really nice IP scanner and a Klipper monitor. So if you're building a Klipper 3D printer, you can go into the Klipper app. It will scan your network and find all of the Klipper devices as well as their IP address. So if you just flashed Klipper on a Raspberry Pi, you don't know the IP address, this will find that IP for you, and it will monitor the stats of your printer. So you can have a bunch of printers in your Wi-Fi and you can monitor them all on this screen. Again, have it sitting beside your computer. You can always see what your printers are doing. So really, really nice. This is probably one of my favorite devices that I've made, just based on how slim it is, how simple it is to assemble, and the actual cost of it. It's very difficult to get DIY devices to be inexpensive because you're ordering all the parts individually, and usually there's no like economy of scale where you can save money. But I mean, I'm so glad that I found this Seed Studio kit because I was blown away by the cost of this. Like the e-ink screen here is like $85 by itself, like the wave share screen of this size. There's only 3 M3 bolts on the back. That's all there is. There's no heat sets. You only have to solder 4 wires when you build this. Just basically the button here, there's 2 wires to solder to it and then 2 wires to solder to the board, and that's it. It is very easy to build as well. The button that I chose here it's a quiet SMT button. It's meant to be like SMT soldered to boards, but the tabs are easy enough to solder 2 wires to, and it just makes the e-reader the button a very nice feel when you're pressing it, and it doesn't make any noise, so it doesn't interrupt your reading. So yeah, really just happy with how this turned out. Here is the web interface for Book32. It's pretty straightforward here. We have a main dashboard which shows you how much free space you have. I have 2 EPUB books on here and I still have almost 8 megabytes of space. So like I say, plenty of storage for ebooks on there. We have our uptime, and then we have our battery percentage. And then we also have battery voltage there. Just fun to add something like that. For the e-reader, this is kind of where we have our settings. So we can choose our font size. We can choose how many pages before the device does a full refresh. We can reset our reading progress for the books if ever you want to do that. We can upload our books here, and then you can see the books that you have on the device. If we go into Klipper, this actually will open up the Klipper app on the device and it'll start scanning for you. There's a couple settings here too. You can change the refresh interval. So how often do you want the e-reader to refresh the screen to update the stats and that type of thing. So really handy kind of settings here. And then the to-do list, again, when you open up when you click on this, it opens up the to-do list tab, and then you can go in here and actually type in your tasks and just simply add them. Looks like I still have a little bug here where it doesn't show the tasks until you add a new one. I'll get that fixed here today for the release, but you can see you can manage the tasks here, delete things, cross them off, all that kind of stuff. So really handy. I like having this as like a reminder right beside my computer or laptop or whatever, just so I can see what I need to do throughout the day or the week. And then we have our settings. You can turn on sleep mode here. So if you did want to leave the device on a table or whatever, and it was still turned on, you could have this go into sleep mode, put a message on the screen, I don't really think this is too useful. Like I say, there's no reason to not just turn the device off. And then once you want to start reading again, turn it on. It takes 6 seconds to boot up and you can continue reading. Here's where you change your display orientation. So if you want it left-handed or right-handed, you can change that. And then here you can actually see some of the settings for Wi-Fi. This will actually have its own hotspot if there is no network available. And then you can see what network it's connected to, all that kind of stuff. And then here's our software update. This will actually look at my GitHub repository. And when there's a new release version, you can update from here, or there is a icon on the screen when it detects an update. You can update it directly on the device. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, there's not too much flair here or features like PyBook had. Again, I just intended this to be a very simple, dedicated device primarily for e-reading and a couple other features. I do have a channel on my Discord for Book32. I'd love to see your builds on there. You can post bugs on there as well, and then I can fix it. I have the operating system or the software on GitHub. It'll be in the description below as well, so you can go check that out, fork it, make your own version, modify it. Really would be really neat to see people make like covers, screen covers for this. You could add like a little reading light on the top if you wanted to, cases, modify the case, all that kind of stuff. You can read with the button on this side, or you can read with the button on this side. So left and right-handed, very easy to do. And like I say, just a nice slim package, good battery life, and you can turn this on and off as much as you want. It's not going to corrupt anything. It runs on bare metal. There's no Linux or anything like that. So again, if you want to support the channel, definitely check out my Patreon and also check on the affiliate link for the Seed Studio Terminal DIY kit. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you on Discord.